You ever notice how saving money used to be the smart thing to do? Your grandparents saved up, bought a house, retired with a pension, and that was the dream. Today, you save $10,000, and the bank hands you 1% interest while inflation quietly steals 7% behind your back. That's not saving. That's bleeding slowly. And here's the wild part. Millions of smart, hardworking people are still doing it. Still hoarding cash like it's safe. Still thinking the bank is the best place to keep their money. But let me show you why keeping cash might be one of the riskiest financial moves you can make. Let's break this down with a story. Imagine you're on a boat. The boat is old school, made of wood, patched with duct tape, but it's floating. You've got $10,000 worth of supplies on board. Food, fuel, life jackets. You feel safe, but there's a slow leak in the bottom. It's small, just a drip. You tell yourself it's fine. I'm good, I'm prepared, I'm safe. But that drip becomes a steady trickle, then a stream. And by the time you notice your supplies floating away, it's too late. That's exactly what inflation is doing to your cash. Now here's the thing. If inflation is 6% and your bank gives you 1%, your money loses 5% of its value every year. Quietly, invisibly. $10,000 today becomes $9,500 in purchasing power next year. And in 5 years, closer to $7,700. You're not spending it. You're not investing it. You're just watching it melt. Now ask yourself, would you put your life savings into a freezer that slowly evaporates your cash every day? Because that's what your bank account is doing right now. But here's the twist. The wealthy know this. They don't hoard cash. They park it. They move it through systems that multiply it. Assets, businesses, investments. Meanwhile, the middle class is still clutching cash like it's a safety blanket, not realizing it's catching fire. Now let's make this visual with a real-world comparison. Let's say you saved $20,000 in 2013 and left it in a regular savings account. By 2023, with 1% interest and average 3% inflation, you'd end up with around $22,000 in your account, but only $16,500 in real value. You gained dollars, but lost power. That's like gaining weight but getting weaker. It's fake growth. So why do people still do it? Because it feels safe. Because it's familiar. Because nobody ever explained what money actually is. Money is a tool, a velocity machine. It's not meant to sit still. It's meant to move, compound, and grow. Cash doesn't grow. It weakens. Now, I'm not saying throw all your money into crypto and hope for the best. This isn't about taking crazy risks. It's about understanding that doing nothing is the biggest risk of all. Because the longer your money sits still, the further behind you fall. And that's where the financial trap begins. The trap says, play it safe. Save your money. Keep it in the bank. Meanwhile, inflation is quietly eating your future, and the people getting ahead, they're doing the opposite. They're putting their cash into assets that fight inflation. Things like index funds, real estate, commodities, gold, even businesses. Each one of those outpaces inflation over time. Let me make this even simpler. You ever played that game where the floor is lava? Well, in today's economy, the floor is cash, and if you stand still, you burn. So what do the smart players do? They jump from asset to asset, keeping their money in motion. They're not necessarily smarter. They just understand the rules of the game. The wealthy don't need stacks of cash. They need systems. And that's what you need too. You don't need $1 million sitting in a vault. You need to learn how to turn $1,000 into $1,050 and do it over and over again. You need to get in the habit of moving money into assets that protect and grow your value. Not overnight, not with crazy risks, but with intention. Now here's where it gets real. If you're someone working hard, saving diligently, doing everything right, but still feeling stuck, this is probably why. You're doing the old playbook in a new economy. You're playing defense in a game that now rewards offense. But the good news? You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to change how you think about cash. So here's your challenge. Instead of saving blindly, ask, what's the job of this dollar? If the answer is nothing, that dollar is at risk. If the answer is grow, protect, and multiply, you're moving in the right direction. Because the goal isn't to have more money sitting around. The goal is to have money that works harder than you do. If this opened your eyes, smash the like button. And make sure to subscribe. This is just the beginning of your mindset shift. So, in conclusion, keeping cash today isn't safe. It's slow sabotage. The world has changed. Inflation is real. Banks are slow, and time is not your friend. But if you start learning how to move money smartly, you take control back. You stop being the person who watches their savings shrink and start becoming the person who builds real wealth. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. See you in the next video.